questions is kind of a forward thinking. I want to really dig deep into the souls of these four. No. What do you guys think in the next 10 years in the Kansas City condo industry? You four have been around long enough to see us take off in terms of development. I mean, skyrocketing. I mean, tons and tons of sales every year to going down to below 200 sales a year in area 202. I remember that when I think we had like 179 for an entire year. So we've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. What do you see in the next 10 years? And we'll start with Steph.
My personal opinion, and of course it's only an opinion, with the influx of apartment rentals that are downtown, that the condos that are actually existing right now are only going to go up in value. At some point in time, somebody's gonna have to break down and build some new condos or convert one of the buildings to condos, because I think that these people who are down there and renting are going to end up loving it, or people from the burbs are gonna end up, you know, empty nesters and wanting to buy downtown, and we just don't have a lot of inventory right now.
All right, Anne-Marie?
I agree. My biggest client this year with 2 conversion buildings that we did was tenants that decided to purchase. And at this time, I'm almost sold out of those last 2 conversion buildings. I think New Quality Hill Square is really the only new product that's not a resale. So there are a lot of tax credits that are coming up for developers that are holding apartments right now, and they're typically 10 years. So hopefully that's where we're gonna see some new sexy product get launched. A lot of our product right now is kind of getting old and tired, and it's historic, but you know, it's just not as fancy as One Light, Two Light. You know, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles. So there's definitely gonna have to be some new games come to play. As far as new construction goes, I don't really see that happening. It's definitely gonna be apartment conversions, I think.
Tom?
Well, I'm old enough and been in business long enough that I remember when somebody said they wanted to look at a condo given a relatively narrow price point, because that's what they were. You could list them on a short piece of paper. And that would have been prior to 2001. At which point, of course, as it happens, the Soldier Regency came on the market with 200-ish units, just in the, well, 150 in Soldier only at that time. And then many other developers jumped on the bandwagon. There was some new construction and lots of conversion. And at that point, the market got horribly overbuilt. We finally are coming out of that, but it has taken 10 years or more to recognize that the substantial number of condominiums that were available for a limited market, which Kansas City is finally beginning to get under control. That being said, I believe that more and more of my contemporaries are going to be looking to move out of the house and into something more manageable, in many cases because they've got homes elsewhere. They don't want to do the yard work, might be a health issue, or whatever. There are a host of reasons to believe that there will be continued improvement in the demand for the product, and as these ladies have said, very limited inventory. So I anticipate there will be more coming on. I would hope new construction. I'm surprised that given the market that somebody hasn't jumped on the bandwagon with a for sale property that's coming out of the ground.
But they're all rentals, it seems like,
Yeah.
every single one.
I suspect that many of them have been built for and are planted such that they could go on the market.
Sure.
I agree with what everyone of you said. I think the Plaza's, the demand's there for a high-end building. If somebody's gotta build it, somebody's gonna take the risk.
To give you the information, you know where 46 Broadway is, so that area that is just to the west of there. I had heard a listing agent say, oh, you can build there. And I've heard one say, no, you can't. And I had a client who I was showing him, and she had offered that, you know, no, nothing will ever be built there. He said, well, that's interesting because my business was offered that space to build. So how do you check that out?
Well, that property was owned by J.C. Nichols Company, then Highwoods Properties. properties. And at one point, I remember that it was anticipated that a hotel would be built on that property. I would find it hard to imagine that there's some sort of restriction that says that it can't be built on, but neither do I know what the current ownership situation is or have any interest in the property.
Is that, it seems to me that would affect the price of those properties that face directly into them.
Well, then look at the phase 3 property in Kirkwood. I mean,
Right.
somebody's gonna build something on that someday. Will it be Kirkwood Realty with the DST and the Merriman family, or will they sell the dirt to somebody and let them build? But there's too much investment tied up in that dirt to let it sit there forever.
All right, we will open it up to questions here in just a minute. I wanted to open it up to kind of a fun question, the quirkiness about buildings. I had 2 quirky bits of information about 2 buildings here in town. I didn't know if anybody else knew about this, but does anybody know that Carlton Plaza has a penthouse?
Oh, yeah.
Does anybody know how big that penthouse is?
About 500 or 300 square feet. I've been in it.
So it's right on the very top of a 12-story building, and no one can really see it from the road. But I was lucky enough to be involved with the transaction. I think it was like $80,000 or something.
Yeah.
This guy just buys obscure properties. I think it had a sink next to the bed, and it might have had a toilet in there. And I don't know. Just
There
off
was
the
a
top.
toilet,
Yeah.
that's correct. And you don't get it by elevator.
No, you have to walk out on the roof to get to it. So it's the penthouse. So that's, you all should know that when someone says penthouse, they might be fluffing that listing a little bit. So, and then the other odd thing, which I thought was funny, I sold One Park Place. So there is no 2004 at One Park Place. Does anybody here know why? Unit 2004. But there's 2005. Well, the people that first bought it were into feng shui. And apparently a 4 is a bad number when it comes to feng shui. So they had the entire building replatted, the 20th floor replatted to change the unit number from a 4 to a 5. So there is no 2004 at One Park.
This was the Pacific Rim people who bought the building from?
No, this was the first person that bought that space, former Chiefs
Okay.
football player around here. His
Oh.
wife was against the number 4, so they had the entire unit. So any other bits that you guys have learned over